Hello and bienvenue. I am Joker, the Full Metal Joker. And before we get started with the topic at hand, I have to let you know two things. One, if you do not like what has to be said, please remove yourself from this video. Two, everything I have to say is mostly opinion based with a lining of truth. But if you feel like I'm wrong in certain areas, or I need more information in others, please feel free to contact me. You should already know how to do this by now. With that being said, what I would like to discuss today is my thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to say something that may piss a few people off. But, here we go. It's just a game. Now, I already know right now I've already pissed a few people off just by saying this. Whereas the rest of us are going, well, duh. And honestly, I feel like that needed to be said based on the actions of a group of two groups of individuals as of late. Well, and the best way to push this further and explain myself is to break the fan base down into three parts. The first group are the people that hated The Last of Us Part 2 so much that they felt like it was okay to harass the people that developed the game and send threat letters to the voice actors. Then there's the second group of people that played the game and decided whether or not it was good or not, then went on with their lives. And then there's the third group of people. These individuals loved the game so much that they thought it was okay to sit here and harass the people that dislike the game, claiming that it's a 10 out of 10, it's a piece of art, it's just as good as Schindler's List, and so on and so forth. Sit here calling people basement-dwelling virgins, incels, and so on, just because they don't agree that it's a 10 out of 10 game. Now, the groups I'm going to be talking about is the first group and the third group, because that isn't right. I can understand that you didn't like the game or why you thought it was a good game. Quite frankly, I'm kind of mixed between the two. There's certain parts of the games where it's decent, i.e. the graphics, the design, how the world is so vibrant and realistic looking that for me watching it, because I don't own a console, so I watch the playthroughs, like, it sucks you in. And I can imagine if I was able to play it, how it would suck me in with how beautiful it looks and how good and like vibrant everything looks and kind of feels. Just wow. Now where it was lacking was the story. How they sat here and done Ellie and Joel so dirty. The two people that they made people fall in love with come the first Last of Us. How they started off as two individuals that butted heads quite often, couldn't agree on what to do, and then as they worked together to survive, to make it to their destination, to their end goal, how they grew to become like a father and daughter. And to see how they just took that and ripped it apart and come up with this, what they considered a story. It was an injustice on its own, to where people that I've talked to sat here and talked about how could they do such a thing. And for some of you that like the game that sat here and goes, well, see, Joel wasn't a good man. Joel did this and Joel did that, and Well, you gotta give them some credit. You've got to, before you judge a character, walk a mile in their shoes. What would you do in that character's situation where the world that you knew and loved is no more because of some apocalyptic scenario where you had lost your original daughter, where everything that you know and love is gone, and now that you've lost everything, you have to survive and move forward and keep living for the sake of the ones that you cared about that had died or turned into those things. So you keep moving forward and you survive, and you'll become a little broken. I'd call you crazy if you didn't become something like Joel in the beginning of the first Last of Us. But people sit here and talk about how Joel this and Joel that, and oh, you just wanted Joel to live and things like that. Like, come on. What about Ellie? A girl that was born into this madness, has to survive with this person that she barely trusts, and now grew to love the person like a father. How would you feel in her shoes to sit here and watch someone you care deeply about murdered? Now, I'm not saying that plot was wrong, but how they did it was messed up. It made no sense. None whatsoever. So I can understand why people were pissed off. I can understand why they sat here and have these feelings. Because, quite frankly, from what I've seen and what I felt when I saw the story and watched all of the playthroughs, I felt the same way. I felt that they've done these characters dirty, and it shouldn't have been done. Now, after saying all that, I can still understand why some people love the game, with how much work they put into it, to where they polished the game so much that there was very few bugs, and there wasn't a bunch of junk in the game that you had to pay real money to get and stuff like that. So, when people give it a 6 or 7 or 5, I can understand. I can understand people giving it a 9, but I don't understand the 10 because of where it's lacking story-wise. So, what I'm just saying is, yes, they messed up in some areas, yes, they did great in some areas, but in the end, it's just a game. Play it, love it or hate it, and move on. And with that being said, if you enjoy the content that I produce, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel even further, feel free to check out my Patreon and PayPal me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you, and good luck.